Awesome. I also want to thank Natalie. She's here with us from Lawyers Title, and so I'm going to be kind of pulling her into the discussion at certain times too, just so you guys can be familiar about the tools that are available to you so that you can successfully farm. All right, Bill.
All
Showtime.
right. Tell you what, it's not often that I get to be up here with the most amazing team leader in the entire region. So let's hear it for Sarah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys are probably in the middle of a very busy season, right?
Yeah.
And how many of you are working with all buyers right now? Okay. How much fun is that?
It's amazing.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
We get to do all this practice on writing offers, and we get to find a way to offer $50,000 over list price and still lose. We had an offer we put in Salina about 2 weeks ago for a young client. $50,000 over list price, all cash, 90-day lease back for free, and we weren't close. That's amazing. That's what's going on in the marketplace right now. One of the reasons it's going on is because we don't have enough inventory. The builders are literally sold out through at least the end of the year. So they're not even writing contracts, much less letting you into their model homes for a meeting, and you're really lucky if you can get them to even return your call. So that takes new construction out of the process. And that means you've got to rely on resales. And what's happened in the last couple of years is inventories have gone down. Inventory of homes for sale has gone down. We're now down to about a month's worth of inventory, depending on what area. And that's not near enough. A balanced market would be 6 months. So in between, when you start getting into the 5 and 4 months of inventory, it starts to get a little bit more of a seller's market. By the time we get down here to 1 month's worth of inventory, it is absolutely a market where a seller can ask for just about anything and get it. So, what should we have more of? Well, you should have more listings, right? So we're going to talk today about farming, because farming is one of the 4 areas that I think are critical to you guys to create a long and profitable business. I see so many agents that come into the marketplace, and Sarah's seen them as well, and they come in and you get buyer focused. Because as new agents, typically it's easier, a little bit easier to get a hold of a buyer. Number one, it's a little easier. Number two, it's more immediate, right? They're looking to buy a house now. And so we think in terms of, I'm going to go get some buyers. And we tend to believe that that's the way to a profitable business. And what we find out is that to really run our business for the long term, we need to be listing based. Now, I'll give you an example. Let's just say you've got 3 buyers right now. They're all want to see every house come on the market that fits their need. How busy are you going to be? Showing houses. About every day, right? All day long. If you had 3 listings, so you have 10 listings, could you be sitting by the pool right now? Maybe.
Yeah.
If you've got your cell phone or a portable phone, yeah, I think you could be sitting by the pool. And now the phone's going to be ringing off the wall, but you wouldn't be in your car telling somebody to meet you at the next house to show. My point is, we can work an almost infinite number of listings and still be a single agent. We cannot work effectively with more than about 2 or 3 buyers at a time. So I want to help you guys start to move your mindset from buyer-based to listing-based. If we can get our business to where we're 50 or 60% listing-based, we're going to have a much more sane life in real estate. Okay? So we're going to talk today with this expert over here, and talk about farming and how we can farm our way to a fortune. So we're going to talk about how we can set that up. Does everybody know what a geographic farm is, basically? Okay.
Does anybody not know?
Okay. All right. So great. The first thing we're going to do is choose and validate a farm area. So a farm area might be a neighborhood. It might be a school zone. It could be a zip code. But you're probably going to want it to keep the number of houses down to a manageable number. And we'll talk about what that looks like. So how many homes does your prospective farm have? Let's just say you pick a neighborhood and they've got 400 homes. So now you've got this area of 400 homes. Well, how do we know that this area is going to be good for us? First thing we want to do is go back and take a look at how many homes have sold in that neighborhood over the last 3 to 4 years. Does everybody know how we would do that? Go into the MLS, create a search, put in a neighborhood, maybe a zip code, and then run it for the year, give it a date range, and take a look and see how many. All right, so let's just say we've got 400 homes in the neighborhood. We want to get a minimum of 5 to 6% rotating every year, or turning over. So we need 20 homes a year out of that neighborhood that are selling, going on the market, for it to be a fruitful endeavor for us. If I have 400 homes that I'm marketing to and only one of them is turning over every year, that's a tough market to be in, right? But if I've got one that's got 20 to 30 homes a year that are flipping over, I got a chance to go get some of those.
We have a question from Sarah Diamond on Zoom. How do you know how many homes are in the area so we can calculate the percentage?
Okay. So I'm going to tell you how I do it. And if you want, I can show you. I go into Netris and then go into Real List Tax. And then I go into, there's a bar on the left for searches. And I go into what's called a quick search, I believe it is.
Yeah, we have a video of this too that we can share. Bill did a video because I wanted to see how you all need to do this. So.
And so I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell it what neighborhood I want. And I'm going to then search. Actually, it has a list of neighborhoods. Start populating when I type in the neighborhood. And it'll pull up the neighborhood. And then I can create a report from Real List that'll give me everything from the size of the home, how many stories, how many bedrooms, how many baths, when the last time it was on the market, and what it sold for. So I have all the data that I need about my farm right there. And I can customize that report and have it give me the information that I think I need for my data. And then I'm going to take that list and I'm going to create what's called a CSV. I'm going to download the list into a comma separated value file. Has everybody done that before? I'm going to take that information and I'm going to import it into my command. And I'm going to give it a tag with the name of the neighborhood. Okay?
And if you don't know how to do this, there's a command workshop every Thursday where we would be happy to show you how to do this.
Matter of fact, this Thursday, we'll actually go through this whole process. How about that? Okay? And we'll send the video out if you're registered for the class. We Zoom that. Oh no, the workshop is in person only. Yeah, we can put together a video and send it out as well. Okay, great. So we'll have a video for you It shows, it's a really easy process, very accurate, and then you can create your list from that. Now, what we do is we then go through and we look for any realtors that we might know. We farm our neighborhood, okay? We've got about 450 homes in there, and we've taken out about 5 or 6 or 7 neighbors of ours that also happen to be residential realtors. Some with Keller Williams, some with competitive. But I don't feel like I really want to send a postcard to a competitor. And it's funny, they do the same thing with us. So I don't see a lot of postcards from realtors. Okay? So we go through, we scrub that list. You might want to scrub it for homes that have sold in the last 2 to 3 years. You might want to take them out and put them on your list a little bit later, because we know that history tells us that somebody's going to stay in their house 7 to 8, 9 years. Okay? So we're going to go through and then we're going to create a list of what's sold in the last 2 to 3 years. And we're going to do it by year. Okay? So we're going to go in and go sold, and a date range from January 1 of 2020 to 12/31 of 2020 for that neighborhood. So we're going to pull it. We're going to get a list. In our case, we're going to get a list of about 30 properties. And then I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to go up to one of the columns and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to tell it I want to add a column. I'm going to add a column for the listing agent's name, and then I'm going to right click on another column and add another column for the buyer/sub-agent name. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me my 30 properties, and it's going to tell me who listed them and who the buyer's agent was. I'm sorry. How do we get that? You simply add that column. Yes, it is in MLS. Yes. Once the property is sold and closed out, it has to have a buyer agent name. And sometimes it'll be the same, but the listing agent is actually the buyer's agent, but most of the time it's different. So now what I've got is the listing agent, I've got the buyer's agent name, and I'm going to look to see is there anybody out of those 30 homes. I'm looking primarily at listings. Has any one agent listed more than, say, 6? If they have, that's what we would call a predominant or a dominant agent in the neighborhood. That's a red flag for me, or at least a yellow. Okay? That means that I have competition. They are probably farming that neighborhood. They either live there or they targeted it to market to it. Now, does that mean, Sarah, that I can't go in and take over the farm from that competitor?
Nope, it does not.
What would I have to do?
Be very creative.
So I got to be a little sharper. I got to do a little bit of extra work maybe, but it's maybe something that I really want. In our case, our neighborhood. We don't care who comes in. We're going to make sure that we have at least an equal share of listings for any other neighborhood. Okay? So 20% dominant. If it's 50 or 60%, the mountain gets bigger, right? It's a little bit bigger hill to climb. And then what's the price point of the neighborhood? You're going to pick this. We all want to work $1 million neighborhoods, right? But if our business for the last 2 or 3 years has been 250 to 350, how comfortable are we going to be on a listing presentation in a $1.2 million neighborhood, where our competition is going to be somebody who does that every day? It's going to be Seychelles Van Poole. It's going to be Cindy O'Gorman. It's going to be whoever it may be. these people have been doing this in those neighborhoods for years. I'm fairly new to business. How comfortable and how confident am I going to be in my presentation? Doesn't mean I can't go do one. I'm just not sure that's where I want to play. Okay. Our average sale price right now is around 500,000. Our neighborhood is in the 500 to 700,000 area generally, so we're comfortable there. We're comfortable living there. We're also comfortable going on presentations. So that's one of the things we'll look at. Okay. There we go. All right, so here's a sample. We've got 400 homes, selling 30 homes a year. That's a 7.5% rotation, so that's good. No agent has listed more than 3 homes in the last 3 years. So we're good there. So there's not a dominant agent. Average sale price on this particular example is $600,000. So if we were going into this neighborhood, we would have 30 homes at $600,000. Our total addressable market, TAM, is $18 million worth of inventory. That's our farm. Okay, that's a big farm. 10%, that's my target my first year into the farm. I want to get at least 3 homes listed out of my efforts. Average commission 3%, 3 homes, 600,000, 3% is $1.8 million for my first year's target. That equates to $54,000 gross commission. That also equates, as you'll see, to a big return on my investment. All right. So then I'm going to create a plan around my farm. I've chosen a 400 home farm. We've got to spend some money to be successful. This is an investment into our business, right? One of the first things I want you to remember is consistency and perseverance. This is not, we're going to send a postcard and see what happens. What happens when we do that, Sarah?
Nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing.
Have any of y'all ever tried that?
Yeah.
It works so well, you keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Recipes are really good too. Recipes.
So
Isn't that recipe?
recipes, right?
Yeah, it works really well.
So what was your results from sending one postcard?
Well, I sent more than one in my defense, but my results weren't good. I just spent money. I might as well have just wadded up some cash and thrown it in the trash.
Okay. So we're going to commit to at least a year. If you can't commit to a year for 400 homes, get a smaller farm. Get 200. If you can't commit to a year for 200, go to 100. I don't care how small your farm has to get, but commit to it for at least 12 months.
And get intentional with what you are farming. If I can, just for a second,
Yeah.
Bill. I saw so many agents spin their wheels of just picking some addresses. Oh, I like this neighborhood. I'm just going to send it. Well, do you know if they're owner occupied, non-owner occupied? Have you looked at square footage? Have you looked at when the area was developed? I live in an area that was developed over 15 years ago. Guess what? There's a whole lot of signs out in front of the homes that say graduate 2021. What do you think is going to start happening in that neighborhood? Yep, and because they're big 2-story homes. You know that, but have you ever really thought about it in terms of a farm? Maybe I should be driving around a 15-year-old neighborhood where there's a bunch of senior signs out front. Same thing with, so, you know, Miss beforehand over here said that she sent out recipes and that it was, you know, a waste. I know of 2 agents that created an entire campaign. They were called the Sweetness and Substance campaign. And it was just, it's 2 ladies, they were a team, and they took a picture, they were pretty, well, so that, and they took a picture holding a pie. And you're like, what the heck, what is this marketing? Well, they started delivering pies. They had a small farm, and they started delivering the pies, and they did all the homework on the homes. When they were purchased, owner-occupied, not owner-occupied, they knew everything about it. They also looked at homes that were purchased when the market really crashed. So guess what? They had the most amount of value for turnaround. They knew the conversation that they were going to have. And so, of course, it was pies. The next week, it was a pie cutter. Then it was pie recipes. And they did this for about 5 months. And the business that they were getting in was so extreme that now, years later, they're still solely working off of referrals, and they are mostly listing based. They very rarely work with buyers.
So you just mean they had a thing,
They had
like
a
something
theme.
that was catchy, that like caught people's attention.
Absolutely, that's just smart marketing. I just saying something very similar. Agent wanted to show that they could squeeze out as much value in the property, so they did a little bag of oranges, little paper bag with some oranges, witty little, postcard thing, but they were consistent with it. But it's not just a set it and forget it. So you have to think outside. I had an agent egg my house this weekend, not egg it, but a bunch of plastic eggs showed up with it. Now, apparently she does this every year. Do you think I've ever gotten anything else from her throughout the year? She's a 1 egg and done. She's an egg my house and she's done. And so I'm going to forget about her, But at first I was like, oh, that's it. She's got some good intention. Yeah. Yes. Good plug. Thank you for that, Veronica.
Oh, I'm just sorry.
Yeah. So you can leverage everything. So as we talk about this and as Bill continues on, start thinking outside of the box of what you just think, oh, this is the neighborhood. I'm going to just farm this neighborhood. No, that's a waste of money. That's taking your money and throwing it out the window. Get intentional with it.
Yeah, Natalie, you've got some programs to help talk a little bit about.
Yeah, so there's a couple different ones. So it's actually the same thing. So we have LT Touch in the back office part of that called Title Pro 24/7. So when Sarah's talking about, filtering down to certain square footages or when they sold or when they bought it, all those different specifications, you can filter through that. So it's essentially very similar to using the Netris part where you can draw a polygon, have a certain neighborhood, but then you can filter it all through there and then it'll spit it out through CSV. Same thing, you can upload it to your plan and use it that way. The second part of that is when you talk about doing like door hangers, the LT Touch app actually is a door knocking app. So you can see which ones are owner occupied, which aren't. Don't waste your time going up and talking. Well, I don't want to say which time, because if there was a renter, very well could turn into something else. But if you could essentially draw a map with your walking schedule, do it through that.
And you can mark it whether it's like a warm lead or a cold lead.
Yeah, so it has different, set each lead or lack thereof, if they're not home, where they are, what they're doing, what they're thinking about doing, what conversation was had, and add all that information. Plus, it'll give you the information that it has. Maybe that's square footage, how many bedrooms, that kind of thing. So if you have somebody looking for something very specific in your farm, maybe that's, certain square footage, you can mark it that way too.
Yeah.
So the LT Touch part is the app part of it, and then the Title Pro 24/7 is a little bit more of the powerful part, I would say, and that's a desktop version, and we can help with that too.
And so we mentioned very briefly the non-owner occupied. Why would you maybe want to farm a non-owner occupied home?
For buyers, darling.
For buyers.
Once their tax deductions are, like for example, I just have 5 years, someone in that area, their tax deductions are paid.
Well, and Cliff Bogart hit on something at a sales meeting not too long ago. There could be a change to 1031 exchanges coming up. So if people have not, if they're investment properties and they want to be able to take advantage of 1031 exchanges, and they don't want to get hit with a lot of taxes, maybe that's a conversation you should be having, and maybe you should be farming non-owner occupied homes at a very high level right now. I would. That's what I would. Because a lot of people don't know. They don't know what's coming, but they know right now they can get a lot of money for their investment property.
So the point is, you've got a lot of resources right here in the office and right next door to help you put all of this together. You're not by yourself. You've got ways to do research, or lawyer's title, ways to do research in real estate. We can show you how. We can give you a one-on-one if we need to help you set up your farm. You've got somebody who's got years of experience in terms of helping with marketing programs. We've got designers at Leverage Plus to help you design postcards, door hangers, and flyers, all types of different materials. So the opportunity here is for you guys not only to farm, but to farm at a really, really high level. The main thing we need from you is the consistency and the persistence. Okay? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I went over talking, my phone was over there, and I was on time over there.
Well, I'm glad you came.
The cost right there, is that for the whole year? To do
Yeah,
all that?
here's a breakdown of my 400 home farm. So the first 3 months, it's really important that I get into my homeowners' minds that I am the agent for the area. So instead of sending something once a month, I'm going to send at least 2 postcards a month for the first 3 months. And this is a real cost. I'm going to use Leverage Plus. I'm going to send jumbo postcards, high quality. They're 59 cents a piece delivered. And I don't have to take them to the post office.
Mackenzie's a pro at that. She's got a friendship with the mail lady. They're BFFs.
So I'm going to spend $472 for the first 3 months, sending 2 postcards a month. I'm going to send 1 postcard a month for the next 9 months. That's going to cost me another $2,124. So that's the very minimum I'm going to do for my farm. That's the minimum. I'm probably not going to get my 10%, but I might get a listing or 2. Then I'm going to do a door hanger. I'm going to walk the neighborhood. We've got the great door hangers for 40 cents a piece. It's going to cost me $160 to do 400 homes. I'm going to do a spring event. What does that look like? It could be I'm going to send pies out to everybody. It could be I'm going to order a photographer to go by and offer to take everybody's picture up front of the home. It could be I'm going to have a pizza truck come and park in front of my house or in front of the school in the neighborhood, and we're going to offer to sell pizzas for $2 a piece or free or whatever it may be. Or I'm going to have a mobile concert go through the neighborhood. I'm going to give some kind of spring event, and I'm going to spend some money there. Because again, I'm sitting in front of my presence in terms of my postcards. Now I want to meet these people. I want to get into some kind of event where I can literally say, hi, my name is Bill Webb, I'm in real estate, and I live right down the street. Okay? Then I'm going to do one fall event. I'm going to spend a little bit less on that because guess what? The market's slowing down a little bit, right? So my biggest focus is in the spring and early summer. And then I'm going to get 1 email a month. How am I going to do that? Most neighborhoods have some type of direct. And I'm going to find a way to get a direct. And out of 400 homes, I'm probably going to get somewhere between 30% and 50% of the people that live there. I'm going to get their email. And I'm going to send them at least a monthly snapshot from command. And I'm going to send them 1 other email a month. And at least,
Robert got you on something like, they didn't give me that.
Oh, okay, I've got to repeat the question just because people on Zoom won't be able to hear. So what was it one more time?
So I can download that info, right? That's all fine.
Download which information?
The email address.
Uh-huh.
I start sending them unsolicited,
Mm-hmm.
then technically not spam.
Well, it's, you, Bill, go ahead, Nancy.
I mean, I don't necessarily cover Texas food, I'm just asking how to talk.
Okay. There are laws to protect our privacy in this country. There are phone laws now, there are becoming email laws. And I certainly don't break the law. I am personally a person who asks forgiveness rather than permission. Okay? You have to make your own mind up. And most people, if you are sending something that is information about their neighborhood, about homes for sale in their neighborhood, they're not going to be upset with it. They may unsubscribe and certainly give them the opportunity to do so. But I have not found that people are offended by it or angry.
We have not had any complaints come to this market center about it. So.
Okay? But again, be cognizant of the law and obey the law. Yes, ma'am. The market snapshot, I think, is awesome because it literally pinpoints the neighborhood that I am part of. Okay? And then I'm going to send information about the neighborhood. Everything I do is to become hyper local. I want to be the neighborhood that I'm farming, wherever it is. I want to be the expert at what's going on. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. But if I do all of this, my cost is $4,256. My target commission is $54,000. That's a 12.68x return. That is fabulous. If everything you did in real estate could result in a 12x return, you would be wealthy, I believe.
Sarah Diamond was asking, how does Bill get the emails? Sarah, Bill sends everything through Command. That's the smart plans. So you can go into Command and find the neighborhood nurture smart plan, or Leverage Plus can help you out with that. You can also come to the Command workshop and Clark can help you there as well. Yes, you can. This was not intended to be like, but yes, you can.
Yep.
So everybody on Zoom, Veronica was saying that she was asking if everything that we're talking about today, if Leverage Plus can help with that, and the answer was yes. And because Veronica and I ran into each other earlier, and she was very overwhelmed and saying that she needed leverage. So it's turning into like a normal. Did you hear we have a department for that? We're here to help.
We're expanding our services almost every month. So if you need something done, just bring it to us, and I guarantee you we'll find a way to do it.
Next to be added is going to be sign placement and lockbox placement.
That would be right.
Yeah. Or like literally it should be released any minute now. So we're just in the final stages of that. And we will store the signs for you as well. And clean them.
And clean them.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you ready for the next slide? Okay. Questions so far? You guys good?
Just make a quick comment while we're on this slide.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do to commit to that 12-month plan is to then plan out each month and actually write out what you're going to send out 12 months in advance so that you don't have to every month come up with a new idea. And a lot of that stuff's going to be not time specific unless it's neighborhood stats. If you're sending out a happy Halloween, you can get that prepared and done by Leverage Plus in the middle of April.
Yeah.
There's no need to wait past 12 months already planned in advance so that every month you're not trying to come up with a new idea. And if you're struggling for that, I'm happy to meet with anybody, whether you're in coaching or not, and help you work through a 12-month plan of exactly what you want to send out so that it's easy to execute.
Yeah, and when he's talking about like the cost of these postcards and stuff, guys, there's no like additional fee for Leverage Plus. This is the cost. This is like, this is it. So, Good point. Good point, Hunter. Are you ready for me to switch to the next one?
Absolutely. Okay, so you gotta be the local expert. And that means some effort on your part. You've got to be able to go back for at least the last 3 to 5 years and see how many homes have sold each month of the year. And you'll want to track it, so you can put January through December across the top of the spreadsheet, and then you can come down the side and put the year, and then you can put in each month how many homes sold. Okay? You're going to want to know the average price of the homes that were sold. And you're going to want to know the average price per square foot. You're going to want to know the average days on market, and then you're going to want to know the list price to sale price ratio. These are all pertinent things in order for you to become an expert in the neighborhood and have valuable information to tell someone in listing presentation. Make sense?
For the last 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5. 5 is better than 3, but 3 is a minimum.
Really quick, Bill. So what Sarah Diamond was meant by her question was she wanted to know how you captured the email addresses for your farms.
Mainly, I try to find an HOA directory. And there's almost, if it's your neighborhood, that's easy. If it's somebody else's neighborhood, a lot of times you can sponsor an event for an HOA and you can get a copy of their directory so you can send out invitations. If that doesn't work, you might send out a postcard to the neighborhood with some type of call to action. Hey, register for this. I'm giving away 2 tickets to opening day. Right. So I'm giving away something. All I need is your name and your email address. Okay? Be creative, get their email address, and then set up your command so that you have their email address. Okay? Make sure you know the current inventory of the neighborhood. And this is something that I'm seeing that we don't do much of anymore because homes are selling so quickly. Okay? But when a home comes on the market, you need to make an appointment and you need to get the car and you need to go look at it. And you need to understand what it looks like. Was it good condition, bad condition? And then you need to follow it. It was listed at this, it sold at this. And you need to keep that information in a file somewhere. Whether it's Evernote or Notion or whatever program you're using, keep that information because that's history, that's data that you've got on your farm. Okay? And then, so make sure you preview those homes as soon as they come on the market because you're not going to be on there very long. Make sense? Sarah, you want to add that?
Well, the only thing I would add right now is there's a couple of things that Bill mentioned that if I'm like in marketing mindset that I would really keep front of mind is that, what did he say earlier? How many years does the cycle go between, when somebody purchases a home to when they want to sell it? Okay, and how are home values back 7 years ago, 7 to 10 years ago? Yeah, so they have a ton of equity, right? Ton of equity. And so so if you take 2 things from this farming class today, 2 things you're going to walk away with and say, I'm going to do this. You've got good information about non-owner occupied investment properties. And you've got a really great, strong farm of homes that were purchased, let's just say 7 to 10 years ago. All right. Big, larger square footage. Do drive-by, see if they got a graduation sign out in front of your house. Okay. So make sure you take note of those because guys, that's a good strong farm. You should if they've made them public. The question was on Facebook, can you find the graduation parties? Yeah, and that's actually a really good point, because you can get creative with even just, let's say that you don't have money to put on a neighborhood event, right? You're brand new in real estate, you haven't had the closings, you're like, I can't afford it's $4,000 a year, but I'm broke, right? Go to where there are events happening and market yourself. Have something, just something little to hand them. Get into conversations with people but have it be events in neighborhoods that you want to farm, because then they've met you face to face. You haven't had to pay for that event. You're just reaping the benefit of it. And then you're going to follow it up with postcards and with other touches that you can have. Now, I would highly recommend that if you're going to meet somebody, or if you're going to go to an event, have something like for a drawing or for $100 gift card where you can capture their information as well.
Now, you see, the event organizers, can you get them started when it's organized?
Absolutely. Can you get in touch with an event organizer and offer to sponsor the pizza or something? Absolutely. Guys, there's no rules with this. It's just about how creative you're willing to get. And everybody's kind of like in the COVID brain fog right now. Do you know that? Do you know that feeling of going like, I want to do something, but like, I don't know if I really want to get out of bed right now. Like, I just feel happy here in this bed. And that's fine, but you guys are all here, and there's like 30 people on Zoom right now. So obviously you guys want to do this. So one, it's don't just throw the postcards out and say, oh, I farmed. No, you didn't. You didn't farm at all. You just wasted money. So, and I love this stuff. So if you want to get with me and kind of, we have mastermind ways to get creative. I've created all kinds of crazy farms, so I'm happy to help. All right.
Yeah, one of the things we want you guys to do is think bigger, because creativity will make a big difference in your business. Last year, the pandemic hit. Everybody was wearing stuff last year in their house.
Wearing pajamas.
Not going anywhere. One of the most creative ideas that I saw was an agent who had a pretty good camera, and he liked to take pictures. So he had a really nice 35mm camera and some nice lenses. He wasn't a professional photographer, but he had some really decent equipment. And so he went around and booked appointments in his farm to take a picture of your family out in front of your house. Think he got a good response on that? He was overwhelmed. He got email addresses, he got names, he got to meet people, he got into a relationship. You had one done,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Did you guys know that you can go onto Airbnb right now and there's something called virtual experiences? Did you know that you could have somebody in Italy actually do a Zoom presentation, like a cooking party? That, I think it costs like $30 for a group. Why not invite a bunch of people that you're prospecting to be part of this cool Zoom experience where they're getting to have a chef from Italy, give them a how-to cooking instruction, costs $30, and you're giving something of value to these people that you can then follow up with. No agent is doing that. I just thought about it right now because I saw that. That's really cool. And so, and there's fun things. There's you know, bingo parties and magic shows, and this is all on Airbnb virtual experiences. There's motivational speakers. You know, there's different things of value that you can invite people dependent on what you're trying to do. Let's say that you go to the gym. You've got this group of people you take a spin class to. You're all trying to get into your head in the right mind space and stuff because, you know, it's 2021. We're going to be better, skinnier people. And so you put together this meditation, whatever, with a person from, you know, I don't know, somewhere exciting. But you can put this together, giving them something of value that is around what you guys are all participating in. It's just helping you build that relationship.
And it will really enhance the experience, because it's really about the experience these people have with you.
Oh, great idea right here. Katie Hauser, she runs a garage sale in her neighborhood, registration via email. An idea.
Yeah,
Good idea.
there's another Keller Williams agent over in the Plano office that does that every year for his neighborhood. He's been doing it for years. And around 10 o'clock in the morning, he gets on his bike with a big old cooler on the back, filled with hot dogs. He cooks hot dogs Saturday morning, because what happens at a garage sale? You're in the back at the garage and you get hungry. Because people start showing up at like dawn 30. And you've got to stay out there and watch them, otherwise they will walk off with like all your stuff, right? So you're not going anywhere. You can't go in and get us, so he rides around and gets hot dogs, cokes, that kind of stuff. Getting in a relationship. Okay.
Probably because I was protected so much offering the hot dogs, like I'm just possibly in that little mindset. I would not accept food from a person.
Oh, this is Texas. They want food. Give me food. If it's brisket, it's even, no. I'm the same way. I wouldn't, but a lot of people enjoy it. Or sometimes it's even just the thought that counts. So they're willing to do that.
I would like to talk more than the food in my head.
Yeah. You can keep your hot dog. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Veronica.
So each phone when you put the mind is something that we can all know. And yeah,
Veronica was just talking about what she does with the neighborhood garage sale, putting balloons on the mailboxes of the homes that are doing the garage sale, and popcorn, that little individual bags of popcorn. All
Let's
right.
move to the next one.
Yep.
All right, so again, commit 1 year. Don't jump into this thing with 3 months worth of finances and go after 90 days for it didn't go.
Oh, a book that they should all read is The 12-Week Year,
Yep.
which will help them break this down into bite-sized pieces. So if y'all don't have it already, 12-week year.
Be consistent. Don't miss a month, particularly early, because you got to do more marketing in the early months. Again, we're wanting to establish a front of mind presence. We want them to think of Bill Webb when they think of Realtor or Jan Webb. She's more important than I am. Make sure that you're delivering pertinent information about the neighborhood. That's how not to get on an unsubscribe or a complaint about what you're sending. If you're sending good information about their neighborhood, you're valuable, and they're going to look at the things that you send them. Okay? And be visible and knowledgeable. Know the neighborhood, know the history. Find out who the builders were. Do your research so that when you have a conversation with someone and they say, well, my home was built by John Crawford. Oh, awesome. He was a custom builder back in the 90s. He did a bunch of homes in the state. If you know that, that's an advantage. Okay? Great. Listen to that. And then create opportunities. If you're going to farm, own it. Defend it. Don't let anybody else have it. Okay? You may have to do some things. Dan Parker, who owns Russell Creek, got it away from a competitor by delivering pumpkins to every house in the farm at Halloween. A, that's a lot of work. Pumpkins. And B, I don't know what pumpkins sell for now, but $4. Yeah. $4 a pop. So if you got 400 homes in your, that's $1,600 you're spending for the pumpkins. But he did that in order to take that farm away from a competitor. He created a relationship.
Sometimes, guys, it is the big idea. It doesn't have to be a $4 pumpkin idea. But we've all received postcards, you know, in the mail. Now, how can you set your postcard apart? Well, most of the mailers that I'm receiving, they didn't put a lot of love into that design, like love is closer. Gosh, I keep getting the plugs in. But have something stand out. I mean, there can be something of value on the postcard. What do people want to know? They want to know if their home's worth a lot of money. If they bought 7 years ago and it's a big square footage, maybe the title like on the postcard is, "Are you tired of stairs?" I've been in my house for a year and a half with stairs. I'm tired of stairs. Okay. Something that's just going to make them go, yeah, I am. But if you are going to do something that's tangible, that's not just a postcard, dive into somebody that has the marketing abilities to be like, I mean, what if you open up your door and saw a small bag of lemons or oranges, wouldn't you be like, what? And then it's got something witty on the card, and that's not going to be $4. That might be $1, you know, because it doesn't have to, it could just be one lemon. You open up your door, it's one lemon, with a little tag hanging on. I don't know. It doesn't have to be expensive, it just has to be different. Yes.
So I'm gonna go over every year I said there's a lot of stuff, but they'll all my background. Every year, they all know me and I don't like it. And one guy that my home that she has to look at why I want to. So the more I buy, the more
Veronica is saying that she orders flags, little American flags that she delivers out to her farm. And so if anybody wants to do that, maybe it's like a good 4th of July portion to your farming, she gets discounts when she orders them in bulk. And this is another great idea, guys. How can you save money? You can team up if you're ordering things like that, flags or anything that you're doing that might be some fun marketing idea. Team up with someone, because the more you order, the cheaper you're going to get it. So the more you can get together and mastermind this, find somebody in this office that you really connect with. And because trust me, you're always going to have better ideas, and at least teams of 2. And then just let it build from there, because this is a huge area. So there's plenty of farming room.
Yep. But you've got people like Natalie that you can work with, who's going to have ideas. Sarah's got ideas. Kenzie, I've got ideas. You've got a wealth of information to help your clients right from Keller Williams. You've got the ability to pay cash for their house. They may not know that. So how about a postcard that says we can get you a cash offer? How about, most people are scared to sell their house right now because they don't know where they're living. We can solve that for you. We can help you buy and yourself.
And just so you guys know, Bill does have a client that is working with Homeward right now successfully. They're under contract. So we can tell you exactly how that process has gone.
We got tired of putting in offers of 20% down. And we weren't getting anything. We went through the homework process. It took about 10 days. But once we got there, now we're making cash offers.
Well, but you got one accepted.
Yes.
Yeah, you're under contract.
So we've got these services available. We're one of the only market centers that has Homeward available. Your competitors don't have it. So are you using stuff like that? And that's a great postcard to send to your farm, because they're thinking, I'm not going to do it right now. What would I buy? And yet people need to do that. And we've got a number of clients right now that have a home that don't particularly want to sell, but maybe it's a 2-story. We got one right now, 2-story home. They're 67, 68 years old. They feel like it's time to move to a ranch. So we got to make that happen. So get creative. Think about what your postcard's going to look like. Make sure it's pertinent information, and then you can just get wild. Everything else. Like the deal was.
Loud and clear.
right?
Yeah.
So what are some other ideas that you guys have? Have you been inspired at all in this conversation? Does anybody have any wild or crazy ideas?
I received 8 to 9 postcards.
You receive 9 postcards per week? And are any of them special? Do any of them stand out to you, or is it just postcards? Zero.
To me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, after so many years, that postcard fails. I don't even look at them. Once I fill with the postcard,
Yeah.
like, once I fill the stack of mail with the postcard, there's nobody writing the postcard except for things. And then we would have some. So to me, it stands out. Postcard.
I would say I received a letter in the mail, which it was a letter, and so I opened it, and when it was terrible paper. And no, I'm just gonna be honest, and it was a realtor. She was actually a broker, and she had a story about this family that is looking for a home and would love to live on my street. And I was so distracted by the poor quality of paper and the font that was selected, and I was just like, the story was nice, but I was like, man, there was like, it was good intention, good direction, I guess, bad execution.
Right, so actually, if you're putting the Easter, it's a handwritten letter.
Mm-hmm. Which that's eye-catching. I mean, I know that we're talking about.
I opened it, expecting a junk mail, and then the candy was the inside of the handwritten envelope. I read it with indications of lots of choice. I was so impressed by their effort to put the handwritten letter together, that I actually read it, even though I know it's like their story.
There you go. I mean,
I expected their effort.
who knows? You know, and yes, is that extremely time consuming?
Well,
Yeah.
it's like a big story.
I love that. Child labor laws don't exist at all. Elena's trying to get her kids to handwrite letters. I wouldn't want my kids' handwriting is so terrible. Yes.
There was, I actually got a postcard last week, and there wasn't anything special about it, and it was really small, and I don't normally pay attention to those, but it didn't have much information on it, but it did catch my eye for some reason, and it said that it was a couple that was wanting to move into our neighborhood because their daughter just had her first child, so their first grandchild, and they really wanted to be close to their first grandchild. And so I did read that, and I was like, oh, that's actually really, so that was really, so I liked that, and I thought, had she put a picture of that grandbaby, I think that would have like done it.
The only issue with that is you have to be careful with fair housing laws. You know, it's just like when you present an offer,
Right.
and you have a letter that your buyers, write, and there's a picture of them, then you're like putting yourself in like a predicament.
So what's going on, because I actually have a lady and I put together for dog stories for the dog bed.
Oh,
So
okay.
I put a picture for the dog.
Her story, yeah.
So she has a story of why she needs to be in that neighborhood. So I put the dog in for
That would be fine. It's just typically that you don't want, when you're presenting an offer and you include in the picture of the family, you don't want to put yourself in the position of, well, they didn't accept the offer based off of the ethnicity of the family. You want to keep it. Now, letters, they seem to be like, as long as everything is neutral, because you don't want to be in that, and that's why fair housing is so important. And so I saw a whole Facebook real estate mastermind going on. These realtors were all giving each other suggestions. They was like, oh, send pictures, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, your brokers are gonna just like, no, don't. Nah. Yeah, right. Oh.
Good. Where is it? I need to listen.
So, one of the neighbors, so like, he's a feisty guy, and I was like, so I told my other people that, our room was driving me bananas.
Ah.
Stop. He's like, that guy's gonna call you, come here, he knows
Yeah, just in case anybody on Zoom can't hear, we're just talking about just little ideas, within the neighborhood of how you can farm in this crazy market that we're in right now. Yeah,
I think one of the things, Elena, you talk about postcards, and you're right. Postcards are meant to last you 2 to 3 seconds. Okay, you come in with the mail and you start doing this. Okay, you're thinking the postcards in your phone, trash can. So one of the things that's important is when you send a postcard, that it has kind of the same look and feel, color scheme. So people get used to seeing your name every couple of weeks. You're not trying to get a message on a postcard totally across. You're trying to get in front of them with your name so that they recognize. Okay? And they do work. Why do you think you're getting so many postcards right there? They work.
How many postcards do we send out a month for Alex and Julie?
They usually do a big order. They want to use about 1,500 postcards. A month, and then they do 5,000.
Right.
They do it because it
Postcards
works.
work. You're getting postcards from pool builders, landscapers, roofers, home remodelers, window companies. You're getting them by the dozens because they work. I can tell you why they work. But for sure that they work. We've got a listing of this week, $775,000 because we sent postcards. Y'all are the ones that send the postcards.
What about digital
Hmm?
Digital media.
Digital's great if you've got email addresses, but and
Or social media.
you gotta find different ways to touch. Not just postcards, not just digital. Do some different things. Jose, you have a question?
You very much just listen.
It'll be live on Thursday or Friday. It's in Whipple Tree. Play it. Yeah.
One thing that can help you with the neighborhood and coming up with ideas, that local charities, local food banks, find out what the elementary school, most neighborhoods have an elementary school in the neighborhood. What needs they have? The average teacher in Texas supplies and $2,800 worth of their own supplies. What if you called up the principal, found out what supplies teachers need, especially right now, there's supplies like crazy, year they need. You put together a drive in the neighborhood or something like that. Food ties in, giving back to the community you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
You and Mariana did a food drive in a condo project down off of Inwood. About what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And how many listings did you guys get out of that?
It's up to like 6 or 7 of those condos.
Yeah, and Kendall, to tie back to what you're saying, Command, right now we have one of brand new agents. He's on Zoom right now, but he's capturing leads right now through Facebook, through Command at 42 cents a lead right now. So, but again, it's about what's your message. You can't just put something out there on Command to capture leads that's just, you have to put thought behind it. And that is the mistake that agents make over and over and over again. The entire time that I've been in the real estate industry, the only time that farms fail is one, when there's no consistency to it and there's no thought. That's really the two factors that will kill a farm faster than anything. And there's tools that make it super easy for you to make sure that all of that can be avoided. Except for just making you do it, but even that, we've got a Leverage Plus team in place that can set it all up for you. It's a whole year and set it and forget it.
I'm on experience.
Uh-huh.
But setting up campaigns for Facebook, targeted geographic areas, you can just get the area. Farming that. What you're doing, so you only get a couple seconds. It's the same thing that it's from the system. Your content, your page pops out, and it's a little bit of name recognition over time. Because it's all the extra media. Buyers are a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's things you can do. You can take out an ad on AdWords, and all of a sudden you're the guy that keeps popping up every time they go to MSN or whatever website they go to, your face is gonna pop up. They're either gonna love your face.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
You can specifically target.
I love these discussions when we start talking about how to market ourselves and get creative. Did you guys see that video of like two real estate agents who were wearing really bad wigs? And they were talking about like getting listings in today's market. And there was like a song that they did. It was like shared all over social media like a bajillion
The
times.
class and upload it.
Yeah, it's hysterical, right? I mean, this thing is just shared all over the country, and I'm sure now they're phone ringing like crazy. Not that they intended to be that way, different hopes, but sometimes just get creative. Have a consistent message. The sweetness and substance campaign. I mean, they had the pie and everything, so everybody tied it together, same color scheme. There was one guy that was out marketing himself where he was like doing the floss dance, like, I mean, but it was like in each room he was doing that, and then it just became funny and it became part of his marketing, and he tied it into his postcards. He was consistent. Would I have done it? No. Would I have advised against it? Probably, but he tied it together with all of his marketing, and he was consistent, and it worked. Confidence. My huddle this morning, I talked all about confidence. You gotta be confident in the farm that you put together. So who's like inspired to farm now? Only half the hands went up. That's it, Bill. That's it. We're fired. I know.
Seems inspired to sell.
Yeah, is anybody farming right now? Okay, two.
Right?
Oh, yeah, because you're farming 4 people. Lawrence is a great example. Lawrence is brand. I'm putting you on the spot. Lawrence, wave to everybody. Say hi. I'm Lawrence, and I'm a realtor. No, yeah, yeah, it's a support group here. Brand new agent. Hi, do you have a listing right now? Yes, he does. Do you have a buyer under contract right now? Yes, he does. And he's brand new. How long have you been licensed for? 5 weeks.
Slacker.
Man, oh man. But also, guys, if you're going to be farming and you're going to be going after these listings, you have to be prepared for those objection handling conversations. And if you're not comfortable with handling the objections, you need to get with someone here at the Market Center that can help you. Hunter Webb. And yes, and they do script practicing, you know, and it doesn't matter if you're a brand new agent or you've been licensed, you know, for half your life. Don't be afraid of script practice. This is a different market. This is not the market from even a year ago. So we have to be in the market at the moment, practice our scripts according to the reality that we're in right now.
Yeah, great. One of the great things for a
9 a.m.
postcard.
on Thursday.
9 a.m. on Thursdays, guys. Script practice here at the Market
A
Center.
great thing for a postcard right now. If you look back, whatever neighborhood you're looking at, you look back the last 3 months of 2020 and look at the average sale price. And look at the average sale price for the first 3 months of 2021. You're going to see something between 5 and 10% appreciation in 90 days. What a great thing to put on a postcard for potential selling. So do the deep dive, do the research, and don't limit yourself to saying that won't work. It may not work for you, but it may work for the 400 or 500 people.
Well, we think everybody knows what the market conditions are right now. They were on the ticket. They had a segment on real estate market, which was interesting. But 3 out of the 4 guys on there that own homes were not aware of the market conditions. That was shocking because I just kind of assumed everybody that watched the news and knew that, you know, everything was going like crazy, but you know, a lot of people don't. So if you put out a postcard like that, it's going to catch people's attention.
Yeah, for sure.
So what he found out was people that listen to the ticket don't watch the news.
Well, it's really creating. You as real estate agents, you have to control the narrative. And the narrative right now is there's no inventory. Well, guess what? If you weren't afraid to sell your house and make a buttload of money, there would be inventory. If enough of you are having that conversation with potential listings all at the same time, This will even out. We're already starting to see the listings increase. I mean, February was scary, but now it's getting better. And so the more we have this conversation, the better everyone's situation is going to be. But also, guys, there are resources out there where if you wanted to get really, really specific with a farm, you wanted to target people that subscribe to AARP. No, just joking. He loves it when I teach them. He's like kidding me right now. But there is an actual program where you could target potential listings based off of what magazines they subscribe to. So if you have a specific interest, maybe you're a veteran, and you can dive into this. If you want that to be what your marketing specializes around, Kevin is a veteran and he wants that to be the conversation that he has, we can create a farm and a marketing plan that is specific to what he is most comfortable talking about. I did a farm and a whole marketing plan for one of our agents, and it's just based around the fact that he gets really involved with his son's local basketball team. And like basketball is like, that's what he's comfortable talking about. And Hunter is phenomenal at working with his coaching clients on finding these specialized interests and making that work for your business.
Let us know how we can help. We can help you put together a campaign. We can help you put together the marketing materials. We can make it as easy as possible for you. Can't do it all, but we can make it easier. Yeah.
Facebook page called Pop 5.
Yeah, I'm finding out there is a Facebook page on everything in life. It's incredible. It's kind of like YouTube. My wife now thinks I'm an handyman. Got her fooled. I can follow a YouTube video on how to install anything.
There you go. Susan, yeah.
So one of my ninja selling coaches were actually started up in Colorado. Anybody who signs up for his monthly newsletter, he sends out a postcard quarterly that is an offer for something free from the restaurant, promoting local business like free coffee or something, and makes the arrangement with the owner. And then he sends those out, and then he pays for all these cards that come back. But yeah, out there. So
There's so many ideas to be had that are out there. You just have to think about one, what your goal is, what you're going to focus on, what you're passionate about, and then find the pathway to achieve that. But you're going to be consistent with a farm that you're passionate about that really is your neighborhood or is attached to like your son's local basketball team, or that's the key to it. That's the key to consistency.
If money's a concern, I believe both teams, I don't think they pay for their marketing material. They teamed up with a bunch of local businesses. They put a monthly neighborhood newsletter together. In the back page of local businesses that advertise, you might pay for the advertising to cover the cost of the city. So if money is your concern, what if you teamed up with some local service providers, local businesses that help share their product while at the same time sharing yours?
Yep.
And cut your costs.
Postcards, you can team up with a lender, and have their logo put on it, and they contribute. That's a great way to save money. So there's lots of things that you can do. That egging realtor chick in my neighborhood, there was a lender listed on the postcard too. So you don't have to do it all by yourself. So if you guys need inspiration, you need some ideas, you need support, you need, I don't know, a shoulder to cry on, we're here, and we're happy to help. So we appreciate you guys coming in today. And don't forget, Natalie is here to answer any questions you guys have regarding that Lawyer's Title app and how you can use it for farming.
So before we break, did you guys get something from this class?
yes.
Was it worth it?
Yes.
Okay, great. I want you to remember, Mondays, every Monday, we're going to have a impactful class. We're going to have lunch as often as possible. So we want you to be here.
Every week. I'm gonna make sure lunch is here every week. Next week, the Millionaire Monday class is going to be, this room is gonna be turned into a big circle. We're gonna have whichever of my top 20%, I'm winking at some of them right now, show up. They want them to be in that circle. And guys, this isn't gonna be a panel. I literally want them to just talk about ideas on how to kind of combat this market, okay? If you're not part of the top 20%, you're welcome to be there, but you gotta and you gotta just listen, okay? Because it's really giving these top 20% agents an opportunity to mastermind together, to be a genuine mastermind, okay? Next Monday, 12 o'clock, lunch will be served.
Later this month, we've got Nick Baldwin and two of his compatriots from Lab Coat Agents. We're going to be doing a Zoom-in class, webinar on campaigns through Facebook and how they drove 100 transactions a year.
It's a big class. I've heard really great things about it. It's really tough to get Nick Baldwin on the calendar. So we will be having it here at the Market Center. He is coming in via Zoom, but we will physically be here, but we will also have a Zoom link if you're watching it from Zoom right now. And then I believe it's the third Monday of this month, Amy Downs, who is our one and only millionaire real estate agent for this Market Center. She is going to be doing a Millionaire Monday class about leverage and marketing. There's a whole list of things that she's going to leverage, referrals, and marketing. Yeah, so it's going to be a great class as well. So thank you guys for attending our first Millionaire Mondays as we getting back to reality. Thanks, Zoom.